to another Clever Dicks podcast. In this podcast, we're talking to Ivan. Ivan is based in Auckland, but grew up in Russia near Lake Baikal and moved over here some time ago. He's done some great swims. He's swum Cook Strait and the length of Taupō. So let's hear him tell us his story about how he managed to do those and some of the challenges that he faced on the way. He's a great guy, and it was a great chat. I think you might enjoy this one. Well, welcome to another Clever Dicks podcast. In this podcast, we're talking to Ivan. It's Ivan, right? Not Ivan.
Yes, Ivan.
And your surname is pronounced?
Polyntcev.
Polyntcev. Well,
I was going to ask you to say that. I was waiting.
Yeah. Well, as we always do, I think it's just a chance for you to give us your swim story, kind of how you got into it and kind of what it means to you, and then we'll take the conversation wherever it goes. So, Ivan, what's your swim story?
Awesome. Thank you, Clever Dicks, for inviting me over to your podcast. It's an honor to be on your podcast and speak with you both. So my swim story began in 2018, very briefly. I was kind of just, swimming because I love swimming. Since I was like very young, I just wanted to swim. My dad taught me how to swim when I was a kid, and then I just kept swimming. But the actual swimming began in 2019 when I started swimming. And at the time I was living with homestay, and the person who then ended up coaching me for the rest of my swimming career, his name is Clive Lewis. He just asked me one day, and he said, well, I swam before, and then I didn't know his story before, and he was like, oh, let me have a look at you.
Was Clive your homestay?
Yeah.
No way.
I lived with Clive for 4.5 years.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So he was like he's like my granddad, actually, because he took me to practice and things like that. So when one day we went to Parnell Bath, and I swam a couple of 100 meters there, and I was absolutely naked. And then I said, well, we can work on it. You're not that, helpless. We can work something out. And then, and I just start swimming with him. I started going with him to Parnell Bath, and he introduced me to a few people around, a few legends that I know now, Rick Wells. Was one of those first people that he actually introduced me to. And I just started swimming, and I was like, what? And I'm very setting goals and like to achieve things.
Yeah.
So I wanted to, put myself out there and then, set a goal. And Clive said, why not you try open water swim under the bridge, under the bridge swim, like 1K. I said, sure. And then I started training for that. So I started 400 meters, I think. And I was absolutely exhausted after 400 meters. And then we slowly started getting ready for that about maybe 2-3 months before the swim. So I started training consistently, swimming. And then in that way, I think everything changed after that. And the way I went into swimming a lot deeper than I thought I would. So I swam 1K. And it was just amazing. I think I still remember how tired I was, but how satisfied, and how I just felt amazing after the 1K swim. And then
they were swimming the bridge, yeah?
Yeah, under the bridge swim, so 1K, and then I remember that we had to wake up early. It was it was raining. It was stormy conditions. I never swam in open water before, ever. Especially 1K, and so I swam it, and I was I felt incredible. And straight after I said, well, I want to do something big. And then 2019, I think 6th of April, that's when I swam the bridge. I talked to Clive and said, well, I want to do something big. And he just mentioned Cook Strait. I said, I want to do that.
That's
it. And then 2019, since then, that's all I was thinking about, doing Cook Strait, even though I was young as well. So I was only, 19 years old. And, at that age, everything is possible. You have no barriers, it's something new. You just enjoyed what you just did. And from there we started.
Can I just to go backwards a little bit further, because I find it quite interesting, and I'm sure some of the listeners will as well. But you were always really competitive as a sports person, and your sport of choice prior to coming to New Zealand was dancing.
Yes, correct.
So what type of dancing was that? What level did you get to? How often did you practice? And what's the difference between swimming and dancing, dude? Because it's like chalk and cheese, yeah?
Yeah, well, it's a good question. I started dancing when I was 3.
Yeah.
So I started when I was in kindergarten, and then my mom said, well, actually, quite funny you asked me that, because I had a choice between swimming and dancing at 3 years old.
Okay.
And I chose dancing because at that time the pool where in the kindergarten was shit. Like it was really not appealing, and I didn't really like that. 3 years old.
Yeah.
Like what else can I think?
Exactly.
Also, dancing seems a bit easier.
Yes.
And then
and more fun, I guess.
more
right?
fun. Yeah. So and then and I just start dancing like whatever there's like pop dance I guess at that time, and then slowly, and also at that time the dance school where I started only got established.
Yes.
So I was basically from the beginning.
Okay.
And then and we start growing. At the beginning, I was like, kids just doing some fun, a bit of competition, in the city and things like that. But then things got a lot more interesting after probably when I was middle school, like 12, 13, when we start actually going to competition around Russia, and then, actually doing a lot of stuff. And then we trained a lot, to the maximum. We train 5 to 6 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
No holidays, nothing like that. My mom was enjoying me having a lot of dancing, but my dad was the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't like me dancing at all. He was always against it. Because from where I'm from, it's not very appealing. People, from boys, you need more martial arts.
It's not manly enough.
Yeah, it's not manly enough.
So we just mentioned that. So whereabouts do you come in? You mentioned Russia. Whereabouts in Russia did you grow up?
So it's east part of Russia, near the biggest lake in the world. It's called Lake Baikal.
Yep.
So it's the biggest lake in the world. And then in the town that I'm from, it's called Irkutsk. So I'm from that. It's fairly close to Mongolia. It's about maybe 300-400 kilometers.
It's it's on the eastern part of Russia. It's quite far from Moscow, which is kind of the more sort of...
Yeah. Well, Irkutsk it's a part of Siberian region.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's cold in winter and it's hot in summer.
So my mind immediately goes to, what's that lake's water temperature?
I think in winter it froze completely up to 3 meters. Ice depth.
Yeah.
And then in summer, I think it goes up to 9 degrees, 8-9 degrees maximum, if it's a really good summer. If it's a bad summer, it's like 5 degrees. But it's single digits, sometimes double digits, but normally it's single digits.
So out of the question to try and do a marathon swim in those conditions,
Yeah.
A bit nippy.
It's different. Yeah, it's a quite wide lake as well. So I think the narrowest part is 90K.
Okay.
And then the thing is and it's deep, and it's very deep, and because of that it's cold. So the water can't warm up as quickly, because any storm the water get mixed up, and that's it, and then it goes back to whatever level.
So I understand that in winter, way back more than 100 years ago, they would actually lay railway lines and put trains down the lake in the middle of winter, and that's one of the ways that people would get to the eastern part of Russia. Was that a story that I heard, or do you think that might be true?
Not sure about the train, but definitely trucks.
Oh yeah.
Well, 100 years no trucks, but any like horses,
wagons.
Yeah, wagons, things like that. Yeah, trains probably not, because it's still quite dangerous.
Yeah.
Because
2-3 meters. I don't know how much weight that can take.
A lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, nowadays, some people go across on the trucks, heavy trucks, like food trucks and things like that.
I wouldn't want to do that. Okay, so on the bridge, Cook Strait, here we come.
Yeah.
What
But
was
before
the
that,
plan of action?
just finishing up on that prior story to swimming, is that when I was around 15, that's when we were training really hard. We didn't have any days off.
Yes.
We just trained every day. We competed a lot. And then, I think the biggest similarity between swimming and dancing is consistency. Being consistent in training and be able to practice daily, so you're only getting better. You can't get any worse. Because you just doesn't matter good or bad day, you're still doing it, and then that's where winners and losers actually differentiate.
Heads down, practice, put the hours in, and you'll see the results.
Yeah, so there's no any magical formula where you can just show up and just do it because you can't. There's still behind. There's a lot of work behind.
Dude, I would like to say that I can relate, but I can't, because I can't dance to save my life, literally.
But it's about putting effort into what you want to do, right?
Whatever it is, 100%.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
And then back to swim the bridge. And then I just start training. Clive, because I was living with Clive. Clive will take me to swimming pools, like Olympic pool and tepid bath, and I would just practice, because I didn't have a car, I didn't have anything. Some days I would just walk to the pool and I would just swim. I swam. Probably in 2019, I swam a year and a half by myself. I couldn't join any clubs because I was too slow. I couldn't do anything. So I just swam by myself. And then Clive would write a session to me every time I go to the pool. And then I probably swam 4 times a week. So he'll give me a session every time. And then I will always come back and say, well, this is what I've done. This is the times I swam. And then sometimes he'll be happy. Sometimes he'll be angry because, I know he knows how much effort I can put in.
Yes.
And then sometimes when I come back with some information or excuse, he can definitely, sort of see the bullshit that I tell him. So, so that was, But I also wasn't really trying to hide anything that, I didn't do. I was really honest, this is what I've done. That's it. That's me. So I didn't try to, sort of hide the lie.
Yes.
And then, I just been swimming, and then I get into more open water swimming more and more, try to get myself into any races that I can find.
Yeah, because you used to do, obviously, the Ocean Swim Series.
I did.
You've done a couple of those 3K, 3Ks, 4Ks races, and you would always come out top 10, top 5.
Age group always get a medal.
Yep.
Bronze, normally bronze.
Yeah.
But you said that you were slow. Now all of a sudden is that just with the training you've got from Clive? There's a lot of squads you'd have been, at those kind of speeds, you could have joined many squads, right?
Yeah, I think a few things was that I didn't learn to swim when I was 19. I already knew how to swim, and I didn't say that my swimming was bad. It was just not good enough.
Yeah.
In Clive's eyes. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And then, but I also wanted to improve a lot. And then, so I just wanted to improve. And then I was just taking everything on board, wherever Clive would say to me, about, technique, stamina, and consistency. Again, consistency, being consistent. And he would always talk to me about, he'll give me a lot of examples of different athletes in different from different sport. It can be boxing, can be gymnastics, anything. He'll just tell me those stories, and I'll get inspired, motivated, and also and just sort of it's a really good example. He didn't push me to do things. I wanted to do it, and he just let me imagine, bring that imaginations even in broader.
Yeah, pushed you in the right direction. So why did you choose Cook? Because that's the hardest of the New Zealand Triple Crown, right?
That's a good question. I think I was just young, and I didn't really understand what I was really putting myself into.
Yep.
I just didn't know. I think it's lack of knowledge and a lot of confidence and ability to do anything I want to. And I think that's where I came up to with the Cook Strait. Yeah. And yeah, that's something that Clive told me about. And I was like, whoa, cool. I mean, yeah. Because you see, like, I'm a competitive person and I like to achieve things, and I didn't find it hard.
So how long after that conversation at the bridge did you physically book your swim for the Cook Strait? Like what year did you book that for?
So probably it's either 2020 or 2021, because another person comes up into conversation. It's John Riddler.
Yes.
We swam beach to bay. What is it? The Takapuna and then narrow neck to Takapuna. We swam that, and yeah, Clive was there. Like, well, kind of, because I've been talking about it with everyone. Like, I wanted to Cook Strait and everything. I want that buzz and everything. And then, yeah, and then Jono came to me and asked, I've heard you want to do Cook Strait and everything. And at the time, I didn't know who I'm talking to, just a guy,
Yep.
But now, obviously, like, wow. He approached me and then he recommended me to book a slot 2 years in advance.
Yeah.
Which I guess would be, so I booked it for 2023 summer, which was what? Yeah, 2021. Yeah, 2020.
Okay, so like 2 years in advance.
2 years. 2 years, yeah. Because I was still like, swimming, but nothing like important.
Yes.
Like we still were discussing a lot and talking a lot about Cook Strait, and Clive was preparing me for what about to come.
Yes.
Because he was coaching me for the swim.
Yeah.
And then, but he knew and I didn't understand, and I was just that selfish ego with the big ego boy that just whatever you say, old man. I just wanna do it.
It's hard to imagine that with Ivan, is it?
Yeah, I don't know who you're talking about, man. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So when did
and then so the day that I spoke to Jono, we basically within the next week we basically booked the slot. I paid deposit and that's it. Like, it was basically that. But at that time I didn't have any experience. At that time we were doing it with Phil Rush, Legends of the Legends, and he said, what experience do you have? I have nothing. There's nothing. At that time, there was nothing more than 5K. Open water. In a wetsuit. Yeah.
So he said, but I'm Russian and I've been dancing for 15 years and I'll be okay.
Yeah. I said, well, and then me, skinny boy, just standing there.
Yes, you've put on a lot of bulk since those days, eh?
Yeah, I was.
How many kilos, more or less, from then to now, dude? 20? Yeah.
20, maybe a bit more now. 25.
That's a lot, dude.
Yeah. But I was also, 20, 21. I struggled for 2 years to put on weight. But then all of a sudden I just...
Then you got the hang of it.
Then I'm boom.
Yeah.
You know what happened? After I started swimming a lot in open water without a wetsuit, that's where the change happened, I think. Naturally, my body said, well, if you're not going to put on weight, we're going to die. And then so I naturally started putting on weight without any effort.
Any dieting and stuff?
No,
like that,
up to this day, I eat exactly the same. Like, I don't have any specific diet. I just eat like normal.
Yeah.
I
reckon there's something in that. So your body goes into the ocean and it's cold and it knows it needs to survive and it changes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my excuse. I'm going with it. So.
Yeah, my excuse too.
Yeah.
Now it's my excuse too. Now I can't lose any weight. Now it's only going up.
It's okay. You got to just do like one ocean swim every year, and you can say, "Hey, I'm a marathon swimmer, and that's why my shape is the way it is."
Yeah, actually, that's true. Now this works really well. I don't have any abs. You know why? Because I'm a marathon swimmer.
Exactly, dude.
We need to have it.
I'm training.
Yeah, I don't have a six-pack. I've got a kid. All right.
Hello, swimmers. I'm Shannon Keegan, U.S.-based founder of Intrepid Water and host of the podcast Stories from the Water. My friends at Swimscape in Auckland, New Zealand, are the proud ambassadors of Auckland's most iconic ocean marathon swim, the 20 kilometers around Rangitoto Volcano in the Hauraki Gulf. This is a very achievable marathon swim that, like all long-distance swims, will live in your memories forever. I don't know about you, but I've got this swim on my bucket list for when I get to visit the beautiful land of the Kiwi. Jump on swimskate.co.nz or email info@swimscape.co.nz to book your slot. See you in the water.
Okay. So in that journey, you through your ego and your motivation, you also put up your hand for some ice swimming. And you kicked a little bit of ass in the Alex swimming pool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Tell us about
2023. Yep. So July 2023 was about 6 months before my first attempt.
Yeah.
2023 before first attempt Cook Strait.
Yeah.
I think at that time I was quite experienced already because I've already done like 10, 20, 25, 30K swims. Like I already knew what I need. And I thought, well, it's the first ever event in New Zealand. And I thought, well, I better participate. And then everything just came up together nicely. The company, the people who was there, and everything just sort of came up nicely without any effort, like without any extra effort that you have to put into things like that. So, so there was another big shift in my overall training and confidence swimming long in lower temperatures.
Just like tough conditions.
Yes, I think mentally, I think it's more important to actually highlight it that mental side of preparation is more important than physical. Physically you can be really strong. This is what happened on my first attempt. That I was physically strong, really ready, but mentally it wasn't there. I was scared.
So what happened? So talk me through that.
So first attempt 2023. Yeah. So my whole family came. I think it was too much disruption from my family. That's honest answer. But at the same time, the weather was shit in Wellington. It was so bad. Like there was like blowing really hard, raining, and then tides were not there. And then that was my week. So that was my week. And then the week before that was nice. And it was funny, the week after was nice, but just my week was absolutely, suddenly came through I think water temperature dropped from 18 to 15 within like days.
Yeah.
And we were wearing not shorts, but they were like 5 degrees. Air temperature was 5 degrees. It was like suddenly blast.
So was there a risk of not starting your swim because of the weather?
That's what happened. Yeah, I didn't even get into the water.
Oh, you didn't even swim.
Yeah, I didn't even swim,
it was really shit. Okay.
Yeah, so I didn't swim, and that's it. But at the same time, I had university, I had things, and I just couldn't postpone it for another 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
Even though I had a chance, but I didn't take it because I already understood that I wasn't prepared.
Yeah,
I wasn't prepared mentally to take it on board.
Yeah,
and because I had I had too many worries in my head, and I think I just shut myself down before even I got that message from Phil saying well, we're not doing it. That's it. I think it happened earlier before that. So
and that was. There was sort of end of summer season, so there wasn't...
Yeah, it was 31st of March, 31st of March.
So there was that postponed for a year, basically, right?
Yeah, sort of, that was the... Yeah.
So what happens after that? You take a rest and you unwind and you stop swimming?
I got really sick. I was sick, I was sick. I had diarrhea, for a month. I was sick as well. I had a sore throat for 2 months.
Yeah.
I didn't swim for half a year.
Uh-huh.
So it was really bad. And then, it was quite an experience. But from that experience, I took a lot more than what I would took if it was something like other way around or, another side of it. because, from that I learned a lot, like what things needs to be done, how it prioritize, how you manage who is coming, who is not coming, and being able to tell them, because be able to tell everyone around you that, well, that's what I want, that's who I want, that's who is going to help me. But the only thing that I changed a lot after that swim, because for that first attempt I tried to like let everyone know that I'm swimming Cook Strait so everybody can support me. That's the only thing, that's the biggest thing I've changed since first attempt, is that after first attempt, I didn't tell. From that point onwards, I never told anyone about any adventures that I'm going to do.
Yeah.
So
keep the circle small, yeah?
Yeah, I would just talk to a few people who I'm really, sort of, that I want to just keep the secret with, and then also the people who can help me, and it was like, a few people, and yeah, like I just quietly start training again. I start start slowly again, building it up, and, had a few conversations, like what are the things we have to do to prepare myself a lot better for it. And then obviously, I wrote myself a huge plan. Yeah, but I also had I had a year off. So I had a year off. I didn't have a month off. I had 2024, I didn't swim anything big.
Okay.
So I was just, sort of, having good time.
Getting the batteries charged again.
Yeah, keeping, the life, and, living the life, and, enjoying it, and, just swimming. Just come back to the basic. I always try to come back to the basic, like why I swim, because I love swimming. Not because I do it for achievements. I do it because I enjoy doing it. It's like what I enjoy, and
that's important, dude.
Yeah.
Without that, what's the point, right?
Yeah. And I'll tell you why it's important later on in this conversation, because it drove me in one of my swims the whole time. So, so, and then the second time, basically, when I wanted to start training for Cook Strait, basically 2024, beginning of the year, start talking with Clive again. I said, I'm going to give it another go, because I've been living at that time for about 18 months, and I had a hole in me, that something that's not completed in the past. Yeah. Something is not is there
unfinished business.
And it's holding me, and I can't move forward in anything. Like, that was the thing, and it was pulling me back. And I was like, beginning of 2024, I was like, Clive, I think I'm gonna, try it again. Well, I've changed a few things, obviously. I tried to get all my experience and ask a few people around who can, like Jonah and then Brian, ask them for advice, like, what should I do, and everything comes up to consistency. And then so from May onwards, I just wrote myself a plan, sort of planned a few swims before Cook Strait, and I thought that would be a really good idea for me, first of all. And that was all mental preparation, mental training, swimming alone, without any swimming buddies who can sort of give you that peace of mind. So I just swam alone from May onwards, trained alone most of the time in winter, went swim alone like 5, 10, 15K. And then when I think first thing what I did did a swim at Samoa. So it was Polyntcev Strait.
Yes.
And yeah, so that was my first swim, because I wasn't sure about this temperature, but I wanted to do the distance. And then the distance was between 20 to 30K.
So this is before your second attempt at Cook. This is part of your build-up.
Yeah. So my build-up, that was mainly the distance. So nothing to do about temperature, even though the temperature of Polyntcev Strait was 28 degrees.
Yeah.
It was really warm. It was too warm that my face was like a balloon. That was like crazy.
How far is that swim?
I think in the straight line it's 23K.
Yep.
I ended up swimming 24.5 in the most miserable conditions that people on the boat had. That was worse conditions. My support crew was on. That was bad, like swell 3 to 4 meters. wind 30 to 40 knots. Like, it was like a storm. It was raining and it was a storm and everything as well. But so I did that swim. So that was July. Then I came back and then I went back straight into winter swimming in Auckland. And then from 28 to 13, 14 degrees. And then after that, I came back into my plane, look at what else. I was like, and then I approached you.
Yeah.
Swimscape, Duncan.
Yeah.
I approached
Top secret mission, secret handshakes,
yeah.
sworn to secrecy.
So I approached Duncan and I said, well, I want to do Rangitoto circumnavigation because that would also, well, Duncan didn't know what I was training for, but I said, well, I just want to do Rangitoto in September. Well, in August was the initial plan, but something didn't came up together. And then I was like, oh, it's a good distance, like 20K, good temperature. I was like, well.
You were quite specific about doing it in September. I think we did it in September, if I recall.
Yeah, September 13th.
So cold water.
Yeah, like, doesn't matter the conditions, whatever. There was, I wanted something hard. Like something hard, something that's.
You set the record that day.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and then I was on till what's the lady? Karina.
Yes.
Karina did the record by about.
It wasn't by much, eh? It was
8 minutes.
Yeah, I was going to say 6, 7 minutes.
Yeah, so but that's good.
She's a beast,
well, but she's on another level.
She's a beast.
When I was swimming, she was already swimming Cook Strait, and then also.
You're happy to lose a record to her, yes?
Well, the records are there to be beaten. Yeah. Otherwise, there's no point in records. And so Rangitoto was in September, and then and I went back to swimming, but then. Actually, that was before December. Things got really not good in my health. So I had some health problems and I had to do some surgeries that no one knew about. And I guess after this podcast, some people know. So I didn't swim November, December and half January. I didn't swim for 2.5 months. And then my Cook Strait window was on 5th of February. So before
crazy,
and then I had a wedding in December. Yes. Well, New Year. After New Year, I had a wedding, and that was in January. So I didn't swim because of health problems for 2.5 months before Cook Strait, but I didn't put into there. Because of my mental training and mental strength, because I prepared my body and prepared my head to deal with that negativity differently. So I was able to just move it away. I didn't have any negative thoughts in my head. It was just all moved on, and I just kind of said, well, it is what it is. You put yourself into this position, so, well, you're going to deal with it. And then because I did it, I didn't tell anyone. I just kept going.
Did your crew know?
My wife knew about it because she knows what I'm up to and everything, so she was with me the whole time. And then basically after wedding I went back to swimming straight away, and I just did 10K and then 2.5K, and there was in Taupō. I was doing some what they call the epic.
Yes.
So I did just 10K and then 2.5K.
Yes.
It was less than 24 hours back when I returned from overseas, and then the time difference 6 hours. I'm jet lagged. I went basically from airport home, take my stuff, and I went straight to Taupō. The next morning I swam 10K.
Yeah.
I was super tired, but I was so surprised that even though I didn't swim for so long, and I didn't do any exercise as well, I just didn't do anything. I just couldn't. I was not allowed.
Yes.
And I was like, and I was like, I kind of thought for a second, I'm not in a really good position right now, because at that time I already knew how hard Cook Strait is, and I was like, and I just went full mode. I just swam. I just swam every day, not a lot, but every day I just swam. Every day I swam.
How long from when you started training again to Cook?
4 weeks.
So
what
you're saying to me, I need to interrupt, is the lessons that you learned the first time round.
Yeah.
you just threw away and disregarded all of them and didn't take any of that to heart.
Well,
and did it again.
You talk to Jono and Brian, they say consistency is key, so I threw that out the window.
I just didn't listen.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. It's a good point, and I also thought about it a lot. I thought about it a lot myself. Like, well, I've done that much stuff, but because of some limits that I didn't put myself, but I couldn't physically swim. Like,
Yes.
I wasn't allowed.
Yes. I got you. I got you.
And then
It's still not the cleverest thing in the world.
it's not. But I thought, well, if not now, then never.
That's why we've got him on the Clever Dicks podcast.
Yes,
Yeah.
because we're responsible.
Yeah, so I was just like, I was very positive, I was just keep myself positive.
Did you tell Phil about this after you had finished?
The thing is that the second attempt I didn't do with Phil.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
got you.
Yeah, so
Okay.
the second attempt I did with another person. His name is Grant Orchid.
Yes, katabatic.
Katabatic. So he was the person who helped me the second time, and he was quite negative too, about a few things with me.
I don't know if negative.
Well, not negative. He was very realistic and how
cautious.
he should be. Yeah,
Yes.
and he was cautious.
Yes.
And then I think that's the day of the Cook Strait. Well, the day before Cook Strait, when we all went to his boat and we had the conversation.
Okay.
And he said, "Well, how long do you think it's going to take you?" I said, "Between 6 to 8 hours." He said, he laughed. He said, "Well, minimum 8."
Okay.
A minimum 8.
Based on conditions.
Based on conditions, based on conditions, I guess, yeah.
Okay.
Ended up swimming almost 11.
Yep.
So, I got a little bit worried because of the distance, because at that time I never swam 8 hours in open water. Never. So, at that time, my longest open water swim was 6 hours. 6.5 hours. That's my longest.
What's a Palima?
Yeah. So, and I talked to John about it. He said, "Oh, don't worry about it. We're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. So there's no problem." And then, and I was like, sure. I mean, at that time I was prepared. Like, mentally I was there. Like, it is what it is. There's like that feeling when, well, you got to jump.
Yeah.
You got to jump, or that's it. Or get out of here.
100%, man. I often just say to myself, you know what? If I freaking fell off a boat and the land was 28 k's away and it was life or death and I hadn't trained and I hadn't whatever, I'm going to swim 28 k's, right?
Yeah.
So that's you got to put yourself into that situation, which is basically what you did.
But Cook Strait was amazing. Temperature or water temperature didn't surprise me at all. I found it quite warm, and when I said it feels like Samoa, and it feels like really warm because it was quite warm. We started 15 degrees, I think, and then patches were like 18.
Yeah,
but mainly it was like 16, 17. But it was mostly like patches. It still went down, but that was great swim. Like, I enjoyed it. It was great. And then the only time that Grant, the captain, said to my crew that, tell Ivan to swim faster, otherwise he's gonna fucking ended up in Kaikoura, because the tides
was pushing you along.
The opposite what he predicted and what actually supposed to happen.
Okay.
Because I couldn't get out from South Island, so I swam south to north.
Yes.
I couldn't get out from South Island for 2-3 hours because the tides were pushing me back.
Okay.
And then I couldn't get into North Island because the tides were pushing me out and then sideways. That's why Grant made that comment to my crew that, because I was coming to one point and I just went sideways.
Yes.
And then.
So were you able to raise the game and pick up the pace?
Yeah. So the last 2 hours of my swim, I just sprinted. I sprinted for 2 hours straight.
Yeah. And
then even in the end, I can see how strong the tides is because I'm moving towards the land. I already can see some wheat, and I'm just moving like this.
Yeah.
And at the end, I had to pull wheat and just pull myself through because the tides were like super strong.
Yeah.
Great. Like, I saw dolphins, a few albatross came around, a few seals were in the distance, but at that time I didn't give a shit about the seals.
So you finished at night?
I finished. No, I finished what time? 6, 7 o'clock. So we started 7. Yeah. So 11 hours. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
All in daylight. All in daylight.
Job done.
Yeah. So yeah, Cook Strait.
What do you think about while you swim?
Let's put it that way. That swim was later on became too important and too personal. So I was thinking about someone pretty much the whole swim,
Yes.
and that's it. That's all I've been thinking about, and that my swims normally have a name, or that how you say it, that I, sort of swim for someone, or
Yeah.
I name my swims under.
Do we want to mention that someone or no?
Nah,
Okay.
yeah.
Do you think in Russian or in English?
In both.
Okay.
Yeah, in both. Yeah.
Okay. I still need to learn some Russian swear words from you guys. Maybe just make some notes here.
So that sounds like an amazing swim. So you finish Cook Strait, and now you can put your feet up and just chill out for a bit. Is that how it works with you?
Well, there would have been.
He does that before the swim. He doesn't do that after.
That would have been the case only if I didn't plan another swim after Cook Strait. No one even knew about it. Only I knew about it, and how I came up with the second swim is me and John have been in the sauna, and I talked to John and say, "What do you think if I can do 2 swims one after another?" So I'm basically talking about Cook Strait first and then Lake Taupō second. I said, "Well, I think it will be fun." Jonah said to me, I said, "Oh, it will be fun," and that's it. That's how the idea came together. It's like, but then if I say something, I have to deliver it. It's like that. That thing that in me that if I say something, then whatever, how hard, it doesn't matter how hard it is, I'm gonna do it, and it doesn't matter what it takes, I'm gonna do it. So that's what basically happened. I had some concerns and some thoughts about it, but again, I called Jono. I said, "Well, I'm not really sure," because I was absolutely fucked basically after Cook Strait because it was hard swim, and everything. So I was not really sure about Taupō, and then I called John. I said, "Well, I'm not sure about it," and then John kind of, through conversation with me, took me on the right path. Like he just sort of like navigated me through those thoughts, negative thoughts, and some sort of
just calmed you down.
Yeah, calmed me down, and that's it. And then when I contacted Duncan again, and it's good
you
that
need to start speaking to different people. Leave Jono and Duncan alone.
but you see, the thing is that there's 2 things. One thing is that you knew me before my swims.
Yes.
And then it helped a lot to talk to you about what I want to do because I knew you as well as a person. We have a bit of history. Well,
we had a couple of really honest chats around what we were going to do and why and how.
Yeah. So and then Lake Taupō came into conversation. In no one. I didn't talk to Duncan until I did the Cook Strait. So that was the point. I'll make sure that Cook Strait is done. So focus on one thing at a time. That was the plan. And then, was if I complete the Cook Strait, I can do Taupō because that's the only way to do it. Otherwise, I wouldn't. And so I did Cook Strait. And then, a week later, after Cook Strait, I met with you and we discussed. I said, "Well, this is what we can do. It's still possible." And I felt positive about it. And that's it. And then 6-7 weeks later, I went back into swimming, and that's where Lake Taupō and the phrase about that I wanted to mention is that I did Taupō. I didn't have any reasons. I didn't have any motivation. I just swam because I love swimming.
Yes,
I swam because that's all I was telling myself. I love swimming. That's it. I don't need to have a reason. I don't have to have anything. I headed for Cook Strait and only. For everything else, I think it's at this stage, it's Taupō was just all about enjoying myself in the water and just being with that that part because I wanted it.
Were you more relaxed and was it a more enjoyable swim or?
I think it was enjoyable till a moment when it started getting, I can see that the sun going down. I say, I'm still swimming. What's going on?
It was a long swim,
It
dude.
was a long swim.
40 k's is a long way, yeah?
Yeah. And
But from our perspective, Jim, I don't know if you can concur, but you were super prepared. You know, the the pre-swim brief with regards to your feeds and everything was chilled and relaxed. On the swim was very relaxed. The test of the boat the day before, the damn engine broke down. You were chilled, you relaxed. So it seemed like you were in a really good headspace.
I was and I wasn't. You know, I had a few moments as well. I had, I was not close to pull out.
Yeah.
But then I thought, well, I brought all these people.
Yeah.
You know, people are here for me.
Yes.
And if I'm gonna just pull out, it's gonna be, well, I think I wouldn't, I would regret it by a lot. Even, I would regret it because, I've already decided it. Like, why would I pull out, And that's the time I thought of a phrase like, well, that's what risk is called. You have to take a risk. You have to, put that step forward and move yourself forward, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but the first 3 hours in the dark, because we started in the dark, was the most horrible time I had in the whole swim. I think because I had also a bit of battle in my head about things, and still had this thing. But then slowly, I got into the rhythm. Sun start showing up slowly. It's like, well, it's not that bad. And then and I just got lost in my thoughts for the rest of the swim.
I think it was half the sun coming up and half the fact that your wife was able to join you as just about as the sun came up that would have helped, eh?
Yeah, I think that was also a big part of being able to, for her to come up with me and experienced again, because every time she says, "Wow, next time I don't want to go because it's hard."
Was she on the boat at Cook?
Yeah, but Cook was different. You see, there's
Was she on the boat at Apalima?
Oh yeah.
So she's done Apalima with you. She did Rangitoto with you.
All the big swims. Yeah,
awesome.
We slowly started. She started first when I started my swimming journey in 2020. She already started coming with me to small events, and then slowly those small events she stopped coming, and then she started coming to the big ones, and then so all the small events now they just how far are you swimming? 3K? Don't even bother me. Whatever you do.
Only when you're serious.
Yeah. Only the big ones. Only big events.
She's very special, dude. You need to look after her.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So one of the funny moments of that swim that springs to mind, you mentioned Brian Gray a couple of times.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, Brian was chunking down a whole bunch of water on that particular swim. And he was standing up on the IRB and having a wee overboard, but he was facing you.
Yeah.
And you stopped and you said a couple of F words in between. Brian, I don't want to see you every time I breathe.
Yeah. Well,
that's going to stick in my memory until the day that I die.
Brian is a special man. Yeah, he's a character, that's for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I think overall, experience in open water, it's amazing. It's community, it's support, the physical part of the swimming itself. I think there's just so many components in swimming that brings together positive people, great environment, always something big in common, and then something special in common. And when you do some big events, people are interested, and people.
It's a team sport, dude.
Yeah, it's a team. Oh, absolutely. Open water, marathon swimming. It's a team effort. It's a team achievement. It's not an individual sport. Yeah, that's for sure. That's one of the things.
So. Just on that point, we've spoken a lot about your swimming, but you've done a lot of the support
stuff as well. You've done it for Brian and other people. How do you find supporting somebody else doing, trying to achieve some of their goals?
Yeah, I think it's actually also very unique because I understand from a swimmer perspective how you choose your support crew, because it's very important for a swimmer to have a really good support crew with you.
Yeah.
And I think I always get honored to be part of the crew for a swimmer, and also my friend, and then I can, help them achieve their goals. I think it works really well. And also it's another part, and I can see both sides of the story. You as a swimmer, you just swim, and then, you just do as you're told. But when you support crew, you do a lot of other things. Think
Yes.
about feet, you monitoring the swimmer, you chat to them, make sure they have a good headspace. And yeah, there's a lot of little details comes into that. Also, pre-swim planning, talking about, what you want to do, how you want to get dressed. There's so many little things that can get very important in some crucial time of the swim. I did a bit of crewing, and then it was a real pleasure that people let me be on the crew. I done like one. My first ever was I supported Brian Gray for his Lake Taupō swim.
Yes.
And then that was 2022.
Yeah.
Even before any of my swims, I was like, wow, how can he swim that far? And then for me, it was like hard.
Yeah.
Like supporting was hard.
Yeah.
And supporting is hard. It's a job that you cannot prepare for. Because you're not doing it on a daily basis. For swimming, it's easy because you know what to do. You need to swim, train, that's it. But for this kind of things, you can't. That's just you. That's who you are. That you just have to deal with it in the moment, being flexible, able to take shit into up to your name and things like that. But yeah.
Yes, because swimmers get grumpy, eh?
Yeah. But it's good to see both sides of the story.
Okay, so I know you don't like sort of committing publicly to things, but do you think you're going to be doing more kind of big swims, or what does swimming look like in the future? I'm not asking you to say what you're going to do, but you think you're going to do a couple of big ones?
I have like some big plans to in the future. So maybe attempt to do some of the swims from Ocean 7.
Oh yeah.
That can be one of the of the paths that I can take. I might do swims that never been done before, so design my own swim, design something that I can do as a first person, and then something really hard. But a lot of people have been asking me after I finished Taupō, is that, well, that's sort of a logical that next swim is going to be Cook Strait, and I said, yeah, I mean, it is logical. It is logical to finish the New Zealand Triple Crown. Yeah, but, we'll see how that will go. Because that's, now I know, those swims, first, not easy. Second, they're not cheap. And be able to put a lot of time and effort into training that, requires, and I understand how much it is. It's you either do it 100% or don't even think about it. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Otherwise, you either do it or not.
Yeah,
like everything else. But I also, because I'm migrant and things like that, life can throw some curveballs at you, and you have to manage that as well. So, if I didn't have to sort anything else, and then I would just swim. Every time. That's all I would do. I'll just train, swim, and I'll just travel around the world, do big, small swims, whatever, meet a lot of people.
Saturday Night Lotto is worth 23 million, so buy a ticket, bro.
Yeah.
Is your dad more happier with you now that you've become a man and you're doing a manly sport now?
Well, the thing is that I think he didn't. He always supported me.
Yes.
Even if he didn't like it, he still supported.
Yes.
And then family always support me whatever I do. It doesn't matter, what it is I do. They would always support me, and then and because I do something that not a lot of people do in the world. Cook Strait swam maybe less than 250 people, and then it's like nothing compared to the whole population of this world.
8 billion people do.
Yeah, it's like 0.00001% of people who swam Cook Strait. That's nothing.
Even fewer Russians.
2. Yeah,
There you go,
people.
bro.
Yeah,
There you
2
go.
people swam Cook Strait,
Dude,
and then 2 people Russian.
you are an absolute legend. When I met you were 19 and you were 20 kilograms less. You're still as much fun to be around, and your energy is amazing. And I'm looking forward to watching you swim over the next 10, 20, 30 years, dude. And hopefully we can be involved with some of your adventures. And you're a legend, and it's been a pleasure joining you on your journey, bro.
Awesome. Thank you, Duncan. Thank you, Jim.
It's been a pleasure.
Hi, my name is Caitlin O'Reilly. I'm the youngest person to have completed the Ocean 7 Challenge. If this really cool podcast has helped you learn something new, maybe it's introduced you to new swimmers, made you smile, then please take the opportunity to subscribe to Duncan and Jim's channel. I'm sure they would absolutely appreciate all your support. Cheers.
Thanks, Caitlin. Well, as always, you can give us feedback on our Instagram account @cleverdicks, or send us an email, cleverdicksnz@gmail.com. We'd really appreciate hearing from you. And cheers. We'll speak to you again soon.